Yo, hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash. I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Tuesday and let's get right into the charts as Bitcoin is continuing to break down. As you can see, we are currently in between of this very important zone right here. So basically we are right now sitting in no man's land, as I like to say, because I am expecting a further drop down to 105k, and right now here there is not an opportunity to either long or to either short, because if you short, price might pump and wreck you to the upside if you're not using good risk management, and if you long, we might still dump lower, as right now the sentiment has been shifted to more of the bearish side, as you can see. So basically Bitcoin still dropping down. Ethereum is kind of doing better. As you can see, it wanted to test that weekly pivot, as I said in my previous videos from yesterday. You can see if we go on a low time frame like the 3 hour, yesterday basically when we were right here at around 4300 something, I have told you that maybe it wants to test that weekly pivot in order for us to see higher price targets, as the momentum for it right now is the strongest in my opinion out of all the altcoins, and also currently it has a stronger momentum to the upside than Bitcoin, as you can see basically right here. Also the stock market has been doing pretty well. We are currently pushing to the upside on the Nasdaq, as you can see, and also the S&P 500 did get a bounce from its weekly pivot, basically from the NY open session, basically when the New York exchange opened. We did get a push above also for the Nasdaq above the weekly pivot, as you can see. We did reclaim that pivot. We were trading below it, which was why I was leaning kind of bearish for now. But as soon as we reclaim the weekly pivot, I am leaning more bullish for the stock market. Bitcoin currently, as you can see, does not care that the stock market is doing all right. So they are not currently correlated. And so Bitcoin, once Bitcoin finds a bottom at either 105 or the worst case scenario 98,000, or there is even a worst case scenario if we look on the CME future chart for Bitcoin and we go on the weekly time frame, or let me go on the daily, I think we can see it better. We have a CME gap around $92,000 to $93,000, which will be from the all-time high a correction of around basically 26%, which will be $33,000 in USD correction, which is absolutely massive correction. And in my opinion, if Bitcoin gets down there, this is when we are going to see people getting very scared, and this is when I'm going to be turning bullish once we hit that 93k zone right here, potentially, if first we don't find a bottom at this low right here, basically 99 to 98k. As soon as Bitcoin starts losing this level, then I am expecting a further drop to, as I have told you, fill that gap, and then potentially a reversal. I don't think we are going to get near those lows right here at around 70,000. If we start breaking that much lower, I would have to, as I said, consider my whole perspective right now on the markets. But as of right now, Bitcoin is not looking that good. Ethereum is looking much better if you're looking for long trades right now, since also the Bitcoin dominance is right now below the weekly pivot. As I have told you in my previous videos, I was expecting some kind of a touch of the weekly pivot and then a rejection. We did get slightly above it, as you can see right here, but right now we are currently trading below the weekly pivot, which is very nice. We want to see that for the altcoins. Solana is still well above this value area high right here, currently trading at $190. Sui is kind of lower. As you can see, we are below the POC of this big range right here, basically. So we want to see Sui being able to hold, otherwise $2.63 would be a reasonable target for Sui before we actually see a stronger bounce. Hype, also one of the coins that is holding really well, currently pushing above the weekly pivot, as you can see. we are actually hitting that R1 with the weekly R1 at 46, almost $47, we can say it. So we are currently kind of trading above it. And as I have told you yesterday, after this breakthrough from the weekly pivot, I am expecting hype to push higher, which is exactly what is happening right now. I think if we pull a range basically from here, yeah, exactly as you can see, this was also the value area low from which where hype found a bottom, and right now we are testing that value area high. So on this logic, you might want to look for short positions here, since the sentiment on Bitcoin is bearish. But we firstly want to see a confirmation. We want to see hype reject hard from here, basically a candle like this, so that we know it is a confirmed bearish swing failure pattern before we take any kind of short positions. XRP also currently still trading below the weekly pivot after bouncing from the weekly S1 at $2.84. So we wanna also see XRP reclaim this weekly pivot in order for us to see higher price targets, or basically get above $3. We firstly wanna see XRP manage to break that weekly pivot. Now, if we look at the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin, you can see, as I have told you in my previous videos, we still have millions of liquidity sitting right here to the downside, up until 103, 104k, and right here we have a gap where there is not much liquidity sitting. As you can see, it is hollow. So basically, it is either possible that we completely find a bottom right here at around 104 to 103k, or we slice right through this gap right here and we go all the way down to this massive pocket of liquidity, which is sitting at 92 to 93k, which is also where the CME gap is sitting. So we might see some more price action coming in from Bitcoin, as you know. So also one of the other things that is looking good to me right now is that we finally broke the bearish Bitcoin ETF outflows. We finally got a bullish inflow of around 290 million. As you can see, everybody bought, nobody has sold. So basically the institutions are fighting this price for Bitcoin to be fair, as you know, for a potential buy the dip opportunity. As you know, this is what we as traders are looking for. Basically, we want to buy every potential dip that is coming present to us. You can see basically I am looking for a better buy the dip opportunities at those price levels, or maybe even potentially all the way down here at those lows, which is where also the CME gap is sitting, basically at $93,000. This low right here, I am looking also for another potential drop further until there, before we actually find a bottom, and potentially it can play out like this, guys. The whole throughout September we will be pushing downward, and once right here October starts, then I'm potentially going to believe that we can go very high during Q4 and Q1 of 2026. So this will be my outlook for Bitcoin. Now for Ethereum, if we look on, enable the yearly pivots, the yearly pivots for it are sitting at the last one. We are currently trading below the second yearly pivot resistance, and the last one is sitting at $5,228, which is also my final target for it for the year. But this might get completely broken through. So like the way it is for hype, it got broken through, but right now it is acting as strong support. We kind of created a double top pattern right here, and since then price has dropped down further to the second yearly pivot resistance, flipping it as support. As you know, once a resistance is broken, it flips as support. But for it right now, it is flipping that second yearly pivot resistance as support, 4,400. Basically, we do not want to see it lose that level, and it is also very possible we do have a weekly R3 which is sitting at 5,500 almost. So it is also a very possible target, guys, since it is still pushing in this very high momentum. And yes guys, that would be basically it, my outlook for Bitcoin and the crypto market this week. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe for the channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.